Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how to make gluten-free sourdough focaccia. I have been working on this for a while now and it's taken me quite a while to get it right, but as soon as I did, I knew I'd have to share it with y'all immediately because it is seriously so incredible and one of my new favorites. It has a crunchy, toasty bottom with an almost fried-like texture. The top is light golden brown and it's herby and salty, and the inside, y'all, it is so soft. It's like a cloud. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. I already have 465 grams of warm water in my bowl here, just about 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm adding my active sourdough starter to that, which is 150 grams. And then this is 29 grams of granulated sugar and 19 grams of whole psyllium husks. And I'll just give this a quick little mix and then add the rest of the dough ingredients, which include 42 grams of olive oil, 12 grams of kosher salt, and 378 grams of my gluten-free bread flour blend. I'll start this mixing on low, just using the dough hook, just until it starts coming together. It is a very wet dough. And then I'll increase the speed to medium-high and let it go for 5 minutes like usual. You could also actually do this one by hand, y'all, or even with a handheld mixer if your handheld mixer has those dough hooks, but you will need to put some elbow grease into it. And I'd strongly suggest using a Danish dough whisk if you can get your hands on one. They are super cheap. I'll leave a link for one somewhere on the screen or in the description below. And you'll still have to be really vigorous with your mixing. Let me tell y'all, while I'm mixing this up, I have been working on and off on this sourdough focaccia for probably a year now, maybe a little more. I've been on and off testing it, and it would fail, and I'd say, I'll come back to it. And I started with my original yeast-based gluten-free focaccia. And I have to say, it is not always as easy as it might seem to convert a gluten-free yeast bread recipe to a sourdough version. It's not like a one-for-one trade-off or whatever like a lot of regular gluten-filled doughs can be. But y'all, I finally got it, and you are gonna absolutely love it. 5 minutes later, and the dough looks just like this. It's a very wet dough, like I said, so don't be alarmed. That's just how focaccia is in general. I'll just scrape this into the center of my bowl, cover it, and let it proof until it's just about doubled in size. Please go by the looks and size, not by the hours. If I say, like sometimes in my recipes, that it'll take about 2 to 3 hours, don't think that at the 3-hour mark, it must be ready and you have to move on to the next step, because it really does depend on your environment and how hot or cold it is, how humid it is. All kinds of factors are at play. So please just go by the looks. The 2 to 3 hours is just an estimate. All right, see this one, it took about 4 hours. It's a little cooler than normal here in Virginia Beach, so it took much longer than it would normally. It's also sourdough. Sourdough always takes longer. And I got this pan actually for another purpose, but it works really well for this focaccia. This is a Lloyd pan, that's the brand, and it's actually famous as the pan used to make the original Detroit-style pizzas. More on that coming. I'll just pour about 1/4 cup or so of olive oil, not exact, but you know, just enough to where I could tilt this around until the bottom is completely coated. And then I'll just dump my dough right on top, add a little more olive oil on top, just so my hands won't stick completely to it. I'll get my hands in here and I'll just use my hands to spread the dough as far as I can into the corners. You don't have to be exact. You don't have to get it all the way. It's eventually going to fill out. All right, that looks about good. I'll cover this and I'll let it proof until nearly doubled in size. Again, go by the looks and height, not the time. Be patient when it comes to sourdough, especially gluten-free sourdough, y'all. Okay, this one took about 3 hours, and this is where about I want it to be. It's almost doubled in size, and it's very bubbly and it's puffy. I'll add a little more olive oil on top, and then I'm just using fresh rosemary and flake salt for mine. But there are so many options out there, y'all, for topping focaccia these days. Be creative. I've also made this with little grape tomatoes cut in half and then roasted garlic. That was incredible. If you do use any kind of garlic that is not like garlic salt or garlic powder, make sure you get, especially the roasted garlic, make sure it gets pushed down into the dough when you go to do the dimpling, because I did find that it will burn if it's left completely exposed on top. All right, I think that's enough rosemary. I can never have enough, really. It's one of my favorite herbs. My husband can't stand it though, so he picks it off if he's gonna eat the focaccia. And this is Maldon flake salt, but you could use kosher salt or any kind of sea salt, y'all. And now for the dimpling, the fun part. I'm just gonna gently go in with my fingers, and I'm not caring if I touch the bottom. It's okay if I touch the bottom. I wanna get all the way down there. But don't overdo it with the dimpling or you're gonna knock all the air out of it. Just like one pass through, like from one end to the other. My oven is preheated to 450 Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna put this in for about 20 to 25 minutes, y'all, maybe 30. If it's not quite done at the 25-minute mark, you'll be able to tell if you press on it and it doesn't like give way underneath. This is nice and crusty and crispy, and it springs back when I touch it. And I'll just lift this entire thing out and onto my wire rack to cool. I don't ever let mine cool completely, y'all, because there is nothing like warm focaccia. I literally could eat this every single day of my life and not be mad about it. It's so soft on the inside. I know it's hard to see and tell in the video, but trust me on that. The softness on the inside is just crazy, y'all. And this bottom crust, oh my gosh, it is heavenly. Like I said, it's almost like fried dough. Just listen to this crunch. It is so incredible, y'all. You've got to try it and then let me know what you think. Enjoy.